Hey everybody, this is Knox from VineAlpine.com here with another in-depth gear overview, and today we're checking out the Friend from J Skis. Hey everybody, welcome back, and once again today we're checking out the J Skis Friend, and this should be a really simple one. If you guys are looking for a freestyle powder board, like a straight up powder board, this is a really solid option for you. This is a ski that's going to be competing in the same segment as like the Atomic Mint Shuttler or the Line Mr. Pollard's Opus, skis like that. It is a full twin tip rocker, camber rocker, 115 millimeter waisted, basically freestyle powder ski. As you can see, not the thinnest thing in the entire world, but pretty much a dedicated powder board for most people. I guess you could make it an everyday ski if you wanted to, but 115 millimeters, we're starting to get up into that dedicated powder territory. I wouldn't want to ski this thing every single day, even though it's possible with that regular camber underfoot. So let's just jump right into construction here and start talking about what gives it the characteristics of a powder board, other than the obvious, which is the size. So first off, the very basics of this ski. Once again, like every other ski that J Skis is putting out, it is a fairly standard construction of you got some wood, you got some fiberglass, and you got some carbon. There's no metal in the ski. They're trying to keep it pretty soft for a few reasons that we'll talk about in just a second. But you've got a maple laminate core like every other pair of J Skis. In this case, it seems like they've used a little bit more of a tapered format, a little bit more of a thin format in the core than their other skis, because it feels like it might even be softer than the All-Play. When you pick it up and flex it, it's a fairly soft flexing ski. I like that in a powder ski for a lot of reasons, chief among them that a ski in this sort of size range, it's a little bit softer. If you're getting into deep snow and you're pushing a hard turn, it'll conform a little bit to the snow as you press into it, and then it'll launch you back out again at the end of your turn. So that's something that I really like in a ski like this. I've kind of gotten over the point where I use a lot of true flat camber skis because they just feel dead to me. Having a little bit of camber underfoot, even in a softer ski, is going to give you more power in your turns in deep snow than a flat camber ski would. So you've got a nice maple core in here, good and snappy, even though it is soft. Once again, you've got some fiberglass on the top and bottom of that core to really reinforce the characteristics that you're looking for in your flex pattern. And then on top of all that, as you can see in the cutaway, once again, we've got some carbon stringers in here, and that is mostly in there to kind of dampen the chatter in the ski and keep the ski from noodling around on you too much, maybe dampen it a little bit when you're going through choppier snow, especially as that snow starts to get cut up at the end of the day on a deep powder day. So really, all in all, a lot of things we like about this construction, like with all of the J Skis, they're doing the right thing in a lot of ways with their core materials. So moving on, let's talk about side cut and camber shape. Okay, so starting with side cut, we've got a little bit of a different story over here compared to some of the other stuff in the J Skis lineup and just general all mountain skis in general. What we've got going on is it's a fairly short natural effective edge, by which I mean the regular side cut of the ski it feels like it's only going from about here to here. You get to the widest point of the ski in the tip and tail fairly early. So if we're looking at the thing head on, I'm thinking you get to the widest point just about here, and then it starts to taper off kind of early. Similar story in the tail. I'll show you what that means for the camber profile in just a second, but what it means for the side cut profile is that when you lean the ski over, because it tapers earlier, as you lean it over and get more and more deep into your turn, it's not going to progressively engage more edge after a certain point. It's going to kind of stop right about here unless you're completely laid over on the ski. That's really nice because it means the ski won't engage additional edge after a certain point and start pulling you. And with a wide ski like this, you want that. You don't want anything else that's going to make the ski feel even more unnatural to ski. Like wide skis are already kind of funky to begin with, especially on firmer snow. And that getting to that wide point early and then tapering down is going to make it feel more natural. Now the trade-off is you're not going to have quite as much useful effective edge. And when combined with the fact that it's a fairly soft ski, you're not going to want to be leaning this thing over and railing it really hard on groomers, which is one of the reasons that we don't really look at it as like an all-mountain, everyday type of ski. I know a lot of people out there ski really fat skis every single day, but if you can afford to have two different pairs of skis in your lineup, we consider this powder specific and kind of nothing else. But because it does have regular camber underfoot, you can ski it every day if you want to. Real quick, once again, we're going to do our camber show here, and you can see it gets to its widest point right here, and the rocker profile in the nose without any weight on it starts here, which is way, way back. I mean, this is a purpose-built powder ski, once again. A purpose-built freestyle powder ski, sure, but definitely a purpose-built powder ski. That's with no weight on it. You got the nose rocker starting like almost 2 feet back from the end of the ski. In the tail, it is much, much less pronounced. I mean, you'd almost want to call this a semi-directional ski, but there's definitely a rocker in it, and it's definitely a full twin. So once you put some weight on it, without weight, the rocker starts about here. It really moves back a lot with weight on it, though, because of the way that the shape is set up. It opens up a ton. So you put weight on it, and it starts about here. I mean, it moves back considerably. That's about as aggressive of a change with weight as any ski that we've got in our demo lineup and that we've handled it in quite some time. So you've got a little bit of regular camber, which will show you just a second. The unweighted tail rocker starts here, and the weighted tail rocker is almost a foot down from there. So considerable rocker in the tail as well as the tip, even though it doesn't look like it with weight on it. Moving over to the middle of the ski where the traditional camber is, just wanted to show you one more time real quick. Without weight on it, this is where your nose rocker starts, which means that your regular camber isn't going to start until about here. So you're probably going to want to mount this ski a little bit further back from true center than you would with like a true all-mountain freestyle powder ski, just because it's got kind of a funky shape to it. So I would mount this thing, I think boot center is going to be like down here someplace, which is pretty far back, probably right about there, middle of the camber. So your camber, your regular camber profile, is right like here to here. There's not a ton of it, but that is that's more or less your effective edge on a very shallow turn on these skis, which is once again why we wouldn't really suggest them for everyday kind of groomer use. But that's a look at the regular camber underfoot. There's not much of it, but there's just enough to give you that grip and power you need coming out of turns. And once again, that's a thing that I like about powder skis at this point. Kind of avoiding flat camber myself these days, but just because you're kind of spring-loaded with that camber. You get into your turn a little bit in the deep snow, and it launches you back out again. So I really like the way that these things release and return in between turns in deeper snow. Finally, as with all other J skis, we like to talk a little bit about how J Skis the company works and how that might affect you in your ski shopping choice. They got a couple very unique things about the way they do business. First and foremost, they don't participate in traditional sales channels, and what I mean by that is they don't sell anywhere else online other than their own website, jskis.com, and they also don't sell to regular brick and mortar retailers. The only way to try these skis or order through a retailer other than jskis.com is to go through an authorized demo center like us. What that does is save JSkis a lot of money on traditional distribution logistics as well as marketing, and they pass those savings on to you. So just about every ski in the JSkis lineup is $50 to $100 cheaper, we've found, basically across the board against almost all other competition. So really, really cool that they do that for you guys. The other really neat thing is that they do all their skis in limited edition graphics. This edition of the Friend is called the Holiday. It's just a really cool wood grain on top, and on the back you got kind of a Christmas sweater pattern going on. Real neat right there. And as you can see on each one, Jason Leventhal signs and numbers every ski that goes out on that translucent portion, so you can see exactly how many of these are out in the world. Once they press a series of limited edition graphics, they never do them again. So if you bought this particular version of the Friend, you are one of 120 people in the world, or I guess 119 people in the world, not including us, to be running around in this ski. So you're going to get a really cool, limited, unique look without paying custom ski prices. So that's really, really cool as well. So if you guys are interested in demoing the ski and you're in the Colorado area this season, we are the only JSkis demo center in Colorado. Either send us a direct message here on YouTube or go to our website www.avantalpine.com and check us out on all the contact options that we've got there. That's about all for now, and that's about all we've got on the JSkis Friend. Once again, I'm Knox from avantalpine.com, and we look forward to bringing you even more quality reviews here in the very near future. Thanks again for watching, guys.